that have already moved, and then they put leverage on top. So what happens in days like yesterday is people have leverage, they get a margin call, they can't sell what they'd like to sell because that all just went down. So they sell what they can sell: cash, gold, Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is interesting in that now Bitcoin is held by a lot of people. And it is very liquid. And this is what happened in 2020? Remember we fell 50%, 50, from 10,000 to 5,000, not 50,000, 5,000 in about 13 hours. Went down 50% in 13 hours. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's the end. Like, no, that is a liquidation of the most liquid asset that these hedge funds had on their balance sheet. And they didn't really understand it or care about it. So they're like, get rid of that, get me some cash to pay my margin call. So that was an amazing time to buy. You tweeted about it, I tweeted about it, Jason Williams tweeted about it, we all tweeted about it. And turns out we're up 20-fold from that. Just let that hang in the air for a second. 20-fold. Okay?
Right.
So of course that's it. It's like Goldman research. Right? If you look at Goldman research and Morgan Stanley research in the old days, horrible, like horrible. And people are like, oh my God. I mean, they pay the average person, $4 million a year. How are they so bad? Like, are you that slow? They intentionally tell you the opposite of what they're doing on the prop desk because they need someone to take the other side of the trade. Remember, think about who's on the other side of the trade. So the point about the Fed, they're not a bank. They're not a bank. They are a money manipulation scheme. I was going to use the C word, but a scheme owned by European family, very low, but it's still in the mid 70s vol asset. Oh, the same as Amazon stock, by the way, which people are like, no, that's not true. Like, actually, look at the math, look at the data. Amazon has a double-digit drawdown every single year of its existence, 28 years in a row. And when was the right time to sell it? Never. On average, you lose a third of its value every single year. But who was willing to buy it and hold it through all that volatility? I say 5 people in the whole world: Jeff, mom, dad, ex-wife, and Bill Miller. That's it. I love this. Bill Miller, the dad, not the son. And Bill Miller,
I love the son. Bill Miller is awesome.
Bill the fourth is kind of 6 trillion easy. That's digital gold, right? The monetary equivalent of gold. And then, probably double that, 10, 12 trillion. He's like, no, Mark, no, 100 trillion easy. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, reverse Gresham's law. So Gresham's law says that bad money crowds out good. We've all seen the picture of Weimar wheelbarrow in Venezuela where you got a stack of stuff that couldn't buy a chicken, if you could even get a chicken.
That's like $6 million of Bitcoin, right? Yeah, so 5, 6. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And he says, no, this is the perfect money. Okay. And I don't remember who said it. I wish I could remember who said it just the other day. They said, Satoshi accidentally created perfect money in trying to solve the double. Oh, Millennium has 2 billion of Bitcoin ETFs. No, they don't. I mean, yes, they do, but they also have 2 or more billion of shorts in the futures market because they are a market neutral firm. Yeah. So the bots, and what happens is, and particularly you're going to see it next week, right, in the holiday week. So on the holiday days where the market's still open, but nobody's at work, like Monday, I said to my guys on Monday, so are we going to have our call on Monday? Yeah. No, I'm out. Like, no. We close after Christmas through New Year's. We didn't close the day before Christmas, but my guys did a coup. And so now we're closed. But so on that day, I guarantee Monday, the bots will do something either up or down. I don't know which one. But they will move the price because
a bunch of things that might be approved for ETFs next year.
Shocking how that works.
Right.
And they're talking about exempting American coins Like, what the fuck does that
From
mean?
capital gains.
From capital gains. So here's the thing. As much as I hate, and I do hate XRP and Cardano, because there's no there. There's no developers, there's no nothing. And look, Brad Garlinghouse he's smarter than me, he's richer than me, because he built a big old scam that's working. And no one likes when I say that, but there's no there. And Circle, which actually has a real stablecoin, $42 billion of value, real, backed up by dollars, which is why a strategic Bitcoin reserve would be good for the dollar, not bad. But real has about a $5 billion. David Marcus, who's one of the best thinkers on digital that there is, and was way ahead of the game with the Libra project. And if it weren't for debanking, they would have got that out, and we would have had 4 billion people with wallets around the world trading the Facebook coin. But so you're telling me that those 4 people are somehow
David
going to turn negative?
Yeah, it's
no
every
way.
position, even the ones that are completely unrelated to crypto or finance or the economy, they're all pro Bitcoiners. And that's because it's all technologists, right? And so I actually, it'll come out Sunday. I know we're over time, but I interviewed Raoul Pal yesterday or 2 days ago. And we were talking about the election. He was like, it wasn't Republican, Democrat. He was like, the technologists took over. Yes. Like everybody's talking about the billionaires, whatever. He's like, Brian Armstrong won that election.
This 12-hour rising wedge. So now the big question is, do we reject a back test and then drop to a lower low? And if so, weekly consolidation is going to be underway. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It has to happen. We'll look for a weekly high or low to be the most likely scenario on that pullback. It's essentially, just watching the next day or two to determine, is weekly consolidation into next week the most likely scenario or not? And how we respond to the flush of yesterday is going to give us a lot of that information.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just tale as old as time. Bunch of leverage, bunch of bullishness, something triggers, somebody takes advantage, and boom, there's a huge volatility, and nothing fundamentally here says bull runs over to me.
And, people just need to prepare themselves in the sense that, we could drop to the upper 80,000s. This is what I call a level from space, where everybody can see it and everybody is trading off of it and reacting to it. And so you're also building up pressure where, best case scenario, I might have talked about this in the past, but this isn't a good looking cup and handle. But if we were able to bull flag on the weekly, it's the psychology of a cup and handle where you have the resistance level from space, you reject from it, and then you blow through it. And that's obviously what the bulls are hoping shapes up. But got to turn 4,000 into support if ETH is going to do anything, right?
It's had great. It has had, so like, on the more fundamental side, like it has, at least like the ETFs are seeing, very steady inflows and sizable. It seems like the interest is increasing, just doesn't seem